Rachel, another Six Nations as captain. Is it as special as the first one?
Yeah, every time it gets more special, to be honest with you. I think the way the game's growing, and to also have been a part of this squad and to know the people within it, makes leading them more special every single time I get to do it. So and obviously to do it under a new head coach as well is pretty exciting.
Doing my research, probably wrong, but I'll try. Litchfield ladies maybe at 24, 25, and within a year you have debuted for Scotland. How does that happen?
I think having that kind of mentality that you're going to do everything you can to achieve your dream, I think is probably something that's always been within me. And I think coming to rugby and realising that it was the place I was supposed to be, it was the sport I was supposed to play, and just giving it absolutely everything, and being surrounded by players and coaches who were willing to take a chance on me and help me learn the game as quickly as I could. And yeah, that was probably what underpinned it. Probably a little bit of luck and getting eyes on me at the right time, but that's always the case in sport as well.
10th year in the Scottish side. How have you been resilient, and how do you keep improving? What's been the secret sauce?
I think a great support system, to be perfectly honest. I think, this sport is pretty brutal, both in terms of what we put our bodies through, but also the highs and lows of wins, losses, poor performances, good performances. And what I probably would put my ability to stay in the sport and stay resilient is the people around me that have supported me through those times and who've remained consistent and been there, whether it's a good day or a bad day. And I don't think I could have done it without them.
How have you found the change of scenery at club, moving from Loughborough to Ealing? How's that been for you?
Yeah, moving clubs has been a big challenge, and it's exactly what I wanted. I wanted something to kind of energise me at this point in my career, and I think, going somewhere new and learning from what are world-class players across the pitch has been really, really exciting. It's been nice to move cities and have that kind of freshness added to my lifestyle as well. But I've got some kind of touches of home there with a couple of my Scottish teammates, which was always important to me as well. So, but no, it's been a really exciting move so far.
You've had interesting days in the Scottish jersey as captain, winning WXV2 and then losing 12 in a row. Has it rounded you as a skipper?
Yeah, 100%. I think, there's so many bits of my journey that have kind of changed the way I approach the game and changed the way I lead. I truly believe there's no one way to lead, and I'm always learning. I'm learning from other leaders, and I'm learning from our wins and our losses as to what works best for us as a team and what works best for me. And I think, those times that you touched on, the highs and the pretty big lows, definitely have moulded me, and also kind of taught me that being a leader isn't necessarily about being one person. It's about finding the people that support you in those tough moments and those high pressure situations. And I think that's been what's probably been the most transformational part of my leadership, is not just leading as a captain, but leading as a leadership group. And I'm truly fortunate at Scotland that I've got some pretty impressive lieutenants around me who kind of complement the things that I'm good at. I can't do it all. I'm definitely not ticking all the boxes in leadership, and I've got girls around me that definitely do that and help me to lead our team and to get the best success that we can.
And you have a new coach in Sone. How's that been?
Yeah, it's been brilliant. It's really early days. We've only had one camp with him in, but we've had a pretty big number of meetings and interactions and stuff, and I think he seems just so passionate about what we want to achieve. He's really invested in the future of Scotland women and Scottish rugby, and he's taken on board a lot of the kind of things which drive us and our values and all the things which are important to us, and he's really tried to incorporate them into his coaching style, which I think is really important.
Your squad's got a lot of youth but also experienced heads, and then the returning Shona Campbell, Louise McMillan and also Meryl Smith, which will be a big boost, won't it?
Yeah, 100%. I think, it's obviously got that core group that were at the World Cup, which is something that we want to keep building on, because those were some of our best performances that I've been a part of. But like you say, to have the likes of Meryl coming back in that midfield, she's such a dynamic player, she's such a kind of playmaker in that position. And then Shona Campbell on the wing has been playing outstanding for Sale and dotting down tries pretty much every week. So to have some of her calibre to come in and to add a finisher to our squad there is really exciting. And then to have the experience of Louise McMillan, she's someone who is a bit of a workhorse. She's a good line-out operator and very dynamic around the pitch as well. So to have those three come in and kind of add a little bit of experience and bring that kind of confidence to the group is brilliant, especially, as you say, with so many young players coming in as well. So it's a little bit of a transitional year in that respect, with like a lot of new faces, a couple of older faces coming back in. So I think, you know, how quickly we can mesh together is definitely going to influence how our kind of tournament goes.
Every player says game by game, but Ireland at the Aviva, first ever standalone of what's happened over the last couple of years. Surely your attention is drawn to that one.
Yeah, we can't wait to play Ireland away. I think Ireland away has always probably been one of my favourite fixtures in the Women's Six Nations. Like, it's always got an incredible like kind of feel around the game. The fans always bring it, both sides, and I think to get to play in the Aviva in what's going to be in front of a huge crowd at the end of the tournament, so everything hopefully will be on the line at that point for both teams, and I think it's going to be a great day and a great way to finish the tournament.
You got to a quarter final of the World Cup, so the expectations are probably pretty high in a good way in a group. How do you bridge into the second, first positions, or even push into the top three, which I presume you want to be?
Yeah, of course. Like, I think, you know, as a team we're always striving to win every game that we get to play for Scotland, and I think to start competing with those higher teams, it's about breeding this kind of pathway that we're looking at and getting more and more of those young girls through, and I think we're starting to see the kind of fruits of that labour that, you know, people have been putting into our pathway to increase the depth across our squad and increase the depth across positions. So it'll be interesting to see how that changes in terms of how we compete and how kind of much we can rotate our squad across the tournament. But I think, like, to start to compete, we need to have, you know, multiple kind of players competing across all positions within the squad.
Rachel, have a great championship.
No worries, thank you very much.